We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Cactus Wrestling is now available on Spotify and Amazon. And don't forget to check us out on Etsy for all of your Cactus Wrestling apparel needs. Next team up on the Cactus Wrestling team preview for the 24-25 season is the Ohio State Buckeyes. And if you're angry about that, then you should have voted in the poll. We did a poll. Ohio State received the most votes. So even though everyone wants to see Virginia Tech, in the poll, Virginia Tech had the least amount of votes.
With the
So
most
you
amount
can,
of comments.
yeah, you can comment Virginia Tech. That's great. And we'll get to it when we get to it. But Michigan's up next after Ohio State. So, hey, that's on you. Anyway, let's get to Ohio State lineup preview. So, this is going to be an interesting year for the Buckeyes. Starting at 125. Uh Last year we saw Brendan McCrone. However, there's a guy that we also saw legitimately beat Braden Davis and got hosed on a call,
Yeah.
which made him lose the
So he didn't
match.
win.
But I mean, he won the match, and that is Vinny Kilcury. So I think Kilcury is the expected starter at 125 for the Buckeyes, especially
Mhm.
since McCrone was kind of like a 500 wrestler for most of the season. And he was 18 and 13. He went 1 and 2 at NCAA's. He lost to Matt Ramos by 1 point, but I just don't think he is at that elite status level where Kilcarry potentially could be.
Well, I mean, Macron did qualify
And he won a match.
in DAAs, but yeah, no, I mean, still, it seems. I mean, if you're basing it off of that one match with Davis, it would seem like Kilkerry um would be the guy. Uh, I mean, even if you go to WrestleStat and look at common opponents, Kilkerry beat Tristan Lujan in overtime the one time they wrestled, whereas Macron split matches 1 and 2 against him. So uh, I mean, he had a 1 point match with Matt Ramos, whereas Kilcarry lost 5-0. I mean, I feel like these two guys are kind of at the same level.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
feel like either way, you're probably going to get a guy that's peripheral NCAA qualifier type level guy who, I mean, may at times be able to pull off an upset, but overall probably won't be all American level.
I think that Kilcarry had a common history with Davis, which is why
Mm.
they put him out in the duel, and by all
Mm.
accounts won the match because he's beaten him before in high school. So, I mean,
Got that
Macron never got that
mentality.
chance to do that. Um, I, it, I don't, I don't know if these guys wrestled off last year, and if you know, if you're a Ohio State fan, drop it in the comments down below who you think has got the edge here. I think Kilcarry is the expected guy based on WrestleStat. And they redshirted him last year, whereas Macron was already redshirted, so they threw him out there. So maybe they're investing a little bit more in Kilcarry. I don't know.
Well, they got options, two guys that are similar caliber.
Yeah, I mean, no matter who they put here, you're winning the match at NCAAs at very worst, I think. So going up to 133, Nick Bouzakis. Now, Bouzakis had a crazy year last year. He was like boom or bust. Remember when he pinned Kairini?
Yeah, no, I know. Like, yeah, he has matches like that, but then he would lose to like Jet Strickenberger and like, and then,
No.
or not Jet Strickenberger, freaking,
Brody Teske, 15 to 13 at the
yeah,
Big
maybe it
Tens.
was, maybe that. Well, no, that
You were
wasn't
losing
even.
your mind during that match. You're like,
Well,
Teske, he stinks.
well, because Teskey did stink. Yeah, I mean, he
He beat him though.
Yeah, barely. No, that wasn't even the match I was referring to. That was that early off season, not off season, open tournament that Buzakis lost to some random guy.
Oh, Vince Santaniello of
Oh yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Santaniello Pitt, not West Virginia. Yeah, like he maybe last year was his learning curve and he's going to be more consistent, but like he clearly is capable of having the big wins, just doesn't seem to be able to consistently do it. And then he's capable of also being upset, which is like wah, wah,
Well,
wah.
he was round of 16 guy last year. He lost to Dayton Fix at the NCAAs by a point.
Oh, he should have won that match too.
He split matches with Aaron Nagao. He lost to Dylan Shaver by a point, who was Big Ten
Yeah.
champion. So he's right in the mix. He's got some really high quality wins, but yeah, I don't know. He's just a boomer bust guy. I don't know if he's just a bruiser, and I don't know how far that will get him if because he went 2-2 last year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he might be a career guy that sticks around like that level. Guys might figure out how to beat him, and some guys might not match up well with that kind of style. So that might go against him. But um, I know if Mike were with us, who he would be saying who's going to start here.
Oh, Ben Davino.
He definitely would say he's like, I don't know where Buzakis is going to fit into this lineup. Probably the bench, but Davino's got the spot. Um, I don't think I agree with him there in the sense that I think that they're going to put Davino in a red shirt year, not.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
we might see him in a couple of duels just cause, but it doesn't really make sense for them to pull him when you have Buzakis, who's only a sophomore,
yeah, exactly.
especially since once D'Amelio graduates, they'll probably move Mendez up to 49, and then that way Davino or Buzakis can go up to 41.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, that's probably early look at the 25-26 season.
yeah, I don't think it'll be Davino, but Buzakis is see, I mean, Ohio State known for the lightweights, so this is where they thrive. Going up
Yeah,
to 141, the reigning NCAA champion who also beats Andrew Alirez in a freestyle match in one of the most
that he did.
boring matches of all time.
I mean, there was only one exchange that resulted in anything that was kind of important for that match. So,
You know what's crazy is Jesse Mendez has never redshirted. So if they really wanted to, they could redshirt Mendez.
yeah, maybe after this year they'll redshirt him as he transitions up a weight, like you were just alluding to.
Well, he went up a weight last year too, because he was 33,
Yeah, that's true. He was 33, took seventh, and then moves up a weight and takes
sixth,
first. Oh,
sixth.
six, my bad.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, he Mendez lost two matches last year, one to Cole Matthews randomly, and then
Good old
one
Cole
to Bo
Matthews.
Bartlett at the Big Ten. No,
Nope. It was
dual
the
meet.
duel.
Dual meet.
Yep.
Yep. And then dual meet. Fun fact, every time Bo Bartlett and Jesse Mendez wrestled, the score was 4-1.
Oh, it is a fun fact. Not that
So
bad. Do
what
you
do you
think
think is Mendez your pick to win it all?
I still think the Lear is.
I did as well in our way too early pick video.
Before the thing anything started, I still think Alirez, despite losing that freestyle match, like if it was a folk style match, I don't think it would have been. I don't think any points would have been scored there. Like I think that it would have been a much more exciting match if it was folk style as opposed to freestyle, and
Mm.
that these guys would have been really trying to get after it. Whereas it seemed like neither guy was willing to take a risk in that freestyle matchup.
I mean, it was an exhibition match.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
like,
know.
why do they care?
Because it's national champ against national champ.
Yeah, I guess so.
High
Um,
stakes.
I
Maybe
think
there'll be the
Mendez.
NWCA match. The All-Star
Yeah, that'd
Classic
be a
match.
crazy match. I think Mendes is probably going to make his way back to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that, but right at the moment, I'm thinking Alirez has still got the edge. But then again, I mean, you think of Ridge Lovick went from second to fifth after taking a year off. Not off, but
That's not a
redshirting.
terrible drop.
I mean, you went from second place to fifth place. That's a pretty significant drop. So, um, I mean, if that means Alirez could take any kind of drop.
Yeah,
He was specifically training freestyle and he didn't make the Olympic team.
yeah, that's fair. Let us know what you think Jesse Mendes is going to place at NCAA's next year in the comments down below. Going up to 149, we have sixth year senior Dylan D'Amelio, who, hey, 6th year senior, he's going to be in the lineup at 149.
I mean, they do have several guys at 149. Just, I don't think any of them are gonna beat D'Amelio out for the spot.
Yeah, I mean,
Some of
D'Amelio's
them
a
are,
round of 12 guy. He was an All-American 2 years ago.
yeah, they got like three freshmen, a sophomore, and one other grad student at all at 49. But like, none of those names are, I feel like, ones that could knock off D'Amelio for the spot.
Yeah, he had a lot of losses. He had double-digit losses last year.
He's kind of like Buzakis.
He is kind of like Buzakis,
On the
where I don't think he'll
cusp.
be like ever a high All-American, but he'll be on the cusp
Yeah. I mean, he did All American that one time,
after
so
going 19 and 14 for the season.
yeah.
So,
Somehow
hey, that's
managed to.
good points though. I mean, he was 3-2 at NCAA's last year.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely a threat to All American. I don't know. I wouldn't call him a shoe-in. Uh, but I mean, these older guys, they get the graduate year. That doesn't tend to always be their best year.
That is true. Has he had too many miles on the shoes? Remains to
Potentially,
be seen.
potentially.
Remains to be seen. Um, 157, Patty Gallagher is the projected guy. I mean, he was injured last year, midway, right? Through the season.
Yeah, it was roughly somewhere around there. Like he was definitely the starter guy for sure, and then got that injury, and we never saw the likes of him again the last season.
And he was
Um,
having a good season.
I mean, he was doing okay.
He was 16-5.
Yeah, I mean, it's
What do
not
you
like
mean he was doing okay? He
that was
lost to Andonian twice, Ryder Downey, Ed Scott, and Meyer Shapiro. The only losses he had were against All-Americans. And Ryder Downey, who was a round of 12 guy.
yeah. I mean, that's not bad. That's
That's not bad.
um yeah.
That's not bad. That's not
I
bad.
think he's gonna be the guy. Um, because yeah, Patrick Downing is another 57 that they got, and they also got what's his face, TJ Sherrill. They're both sophomores. Gallagher's probably the guy that's gonna win his spot back, and ideally build off of his 16-5. Maybe beat some of these All-Americans. Probably not.
Maybe.
I feel like he's probably like round of 16, round of 12 guy.
Well, he was round of 16 in 2023.
Yeah, I think that's where he's destined to stay.
I mean,
16
Ohio
12.
State's got a lot of guys that are probably shoo-ins to not only national qualify, but win a few matches at NCAAs too.
Mm,
And I think that's the case here as well. 165. We'll talk about Bryce Hepner first.
yeah, good old
He's a
Bryce Hepner,
junior.
who, I mean, I was always high on Bryce Hepner when he beat Harkla out at the wrestle off, but then didn't get the starting nod. So I was really excited to see him in the lineup last year. And then he kept losing all these matches very close. Like,
Yeah, he's a funky kind of guy.
yeah, it was like as if everyone kind of knew how to beat him, kind of thing. Like
Hmm.
they just knew how to out wrestle him in certain positions and get the points, and he always just fell just short. So like if he ended up being the guy again this year, I mean, I feel like maybe he'd qualify for NCAAs, but I don't really know how much I would bank on that. Like he's definitely solid, but last year just left me more unimpressed than when I saw him beat out Harkla for the spot.
I remember when he wrestled Mitchell Messenbrink and he lost 10-4 and it wasn't a major. And we were all like, whoa, Mitchell Messenbrink didn't measure someone. He's vulnerable.
Yeah, he's vulnerable. He's about to lose.
But the fact that Hebner went 0-2 at Big Tens is not encouraging.
No.
So, and Hebner has never qualified for nationals. He didn't last year.
Well, he only that was last year was the
This is
only
his
chance
first
he's
time.
had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ethan Burden is incoming freshman who's likely to redshirt. But guess
Oh,
who's on this roster? Listed at
this could
one
be interesting. Yeah.
five. Sammy Sasso.
Going up 2 weight classes after getting shot.
Is it
Is he
crazy? Is it
is he the
crazy to
same?
think?
Is he back and is he better than ever, or is he a shadow of what he once was? Like I remember when they were talking about his rehab, it was like he was relearning how to walk.
I mean, we saw him. We saw him at Big Tens, and he was walking with a significant limp.
Yeah, so like for him to come back, not only come back, but then win the spot is huge. And if he could win the spot and then also be a contender at this weight, would be unbelievable. That's the stuff of like Cinderella story movie type stuff.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Do I
I
think
don't
it's gonna happen? No. I don't think he's
based
gonna
on
actually
the fact
wrestle.
of
I feel
the
like he's a
extent of
senior.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying the extent of that injury, like the being shot and his recovery, it's the mountain he's got to climb just to even be able to compete again is unrealistically big. So if he can overcome that, like I mean, I'm rooting for him. I actually kind of hope that he wins the spot out and like is actually a contender at this weight. Like that would be amazing. I'd be pulling for him for sure.
But here's the thing. This would be his seventh year of eligibility. Why bother stay in school for a seventh year if you didn't plan on wrestling? Like, why would you even be
Oh
enrolled?
yeah, he's definitely planning on wrestling. That's like he. It's just a matter of how like what kind of a wrestler is he coming back to? Like, is he coming back better or back to his former self, or is he a shadow of himself? Like,
I mean, just what? Big Tense was in March.
yep.
That was what, 6 months ago, and he had a significant limp
And that was like when he was shot was like last like was over a year
a year
ago.
ago.
So like,
I just feel like there's got to be some l long-standing nerve damage that you just can't recover from. I
I
mean,
mean, I know nerves they heal at a very slow rate. It's like a quarter of an inch a year. So like or something like that. But like, yeah, I mean, maybe the limp wasn't related to nerve damage. Maybe the limp was related to like he's still getting stronger and his muscles haven't gotten back to. But even if that's the case, that like, how is he going to be able to compete for a title? Like, how is he going to be able to compete for the spot even?
yeah, who knows? I, yeah, like I said, like you said, I hope it's happening. I'm rooting for him, but not
Yeah, let's go,
likely. Not
Sammy.
bloody likely. Well, 174 has turned into the hardest weight class
Yeah.
this upcoming season because you have returning national runner-up Rocco Welsh. But he was a true freshman last year, and they have another guy who will be on his what, sixth year, I feel like. I can
Yeah,
confirm this
yeah.
in a second. Carson Harkla, sixth season. The dude is very fragile. He All-Americaned in 2022,
He's
rounded
very
12 in
fragile.
2023. All right, guess how many career matches Carson Harkla has, not
Yes.
including redshirt.
feel like since you're asking, it's probably like under 50.
I'm adding it up right now.
Um, but honestly, I mean, I feel like the high IQ move here is to redshirt Rocco and just throw out Harchula and whoever else you got for this year. Just throw them into the mix, get them experience, and then next year Welsh takes the spot and maybe is in contention for that title. Because yeah, this year 74, it's definitely like 165 for the past 2 or 3 years has been really, really, really deep, and now I feel like it's this year it's going to be 74 is the weight that's like the deepest.
Okay, it's more than I thought. He has 63 matches, but
Ah.
that's in only 3 years competing. So that's not bad. 20 a
That's
year.
better than most Penn State guys.
But I don't get this. Like he's got two medical red shirts. What are they just handing out red shirts?
Two medical red
He's
shirts.
got two medical red shirts. How is
I
that
didn't know that
allowed?
you could get more than one medical red shirt.
He medical redshirted in 2021, and then he medical redshirted in 2024.
I didn't know that you could do both
That's what
years.
it shows. It shows medical redshirt.
Okay. I mean, I guess you can.
Isn't
Um,
isn't that the same for
there's certain qualifications around a medical red shirt. Like it's a certain number of matches, time of year, how significant the or whatever the injury is. Like I know there are certain like parameters that have to be met to get a medical red shirt. But apparently, I guess you could do it multiple times. Because like Jordan Burroughs, I think in 2010 when he took his medical red shirt, he was literally one match away from not being able to get a medical red shirt. So like had
mm,
Burroughs wrestled one more match and then got injured after that match, he wouldn't have been able to medical redshirt. His career in college would have been over in 2010, right then and there, instead of being able to come back in 11 and win the title.
mm, interesting. How do you think if Rocco Welsh is the guy, and you were saying it's probably in their best interest to redshirt him because of the
Yeah,
competition?
yeah.
How do you think if he is the guy? Okay, let's run it by. Do you think he beats Keegan O'Toole?
No.
Do you think he beats Dean Hamidi?
Yeah, I think it's possible, yes, but that's a toss up at best, I feel like.
Do you think he beats Levi Haynes?
Realistically, he probably loses that like a 1 point match.
Do
I
you
mean,
think
unless the
he
size difference makes it, because like I'm thinking of Levi at 157. Like, so unless the size difference really makes a big difference because he's going up 2 weights.
do you think he beats Gabe Arnold?
I feel like Gabe Arnold is probably the easiest match of the bunch so far. So maybe, yeah, more likely to.
What about Cade Devos?
I feel like, yeah, he was the 2 seed last year and he didn't make the finals. Like, I think he took like fifth or
He
fourth.
took fifth.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I feel like Cade could be beaten. I mean, and you didn't even mention Edmund Ruth. Or is
Wasn't
Edmund
Edmund
Ruth going up to
Ruth? I think
84?
he's going up to 84.
Oh, okay, yeah, Edmund Ruth. And that's assuming Carter Strachey doesn't go.
Well, you know what's funny? When we did the Penn State preview, WrestleStat had Levi Haynes at 74. Now they have Mitchell Messenbrink at 74.
What are they hearing?
I don't know. And they have Levi Haynes at 165.
But Mesenbrink was a small 65.
I know.
I feel like he's going to be even less effective at 74.
Mm,
Well, I mean, not like significantly less, but I feel like he's going to be less effective.
I mean, I do want to see Keegan O'Toole versus Messenbrink. I'm not gonna lie. I think Gabe Arnold beats Rocco Welsh. I've been saying that for years.
Really?
Not years, but you
Years.
know what I mean.
Mm.
Anyway, let us know how you think Rocco Welsh will do next year. Going up to 184, Ryder Rogotsky, one of the most exciting guys to watch, a pinning machine. He's a shoe-in for the spot next
Yeah, I
year.
mean,
He
I'd
gets
say
so many
he's
bonus
yeah.
points.
Well, I mean, yeah, because he does unorthodox things, which leads to him getting those pins. He finds a way to getting these guys on their back, which is great.
Remember when he pinned Bernie Truax?
Yeah, that was wonderful. I loved every second of that. Because that was like a 1 out of 10 times thing. Like he's gonna pin him 1 out of 10 times,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
two. And of course it happened. So that was fantastic. Yeah, no, I'd say he's the guy. I mean, they only have one other 84 on their entire roster, Gavin Bell, who's a redshirt
Well,
senior.
Seth
So,
Seth Shimade.
oh, did I miss that Shmade? Oh, I must have.
Seth Shimade.
Shmade. Yeah, there he is. No,
But
Schmade's at 97.
oh well, Rogotsky pinned him last year anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, so yeah, I think yeah, Rogatski's got it lined up. He's got that. This is the boomer bust team. Like this,
Yeah, it really is.
Rogatsky, he could boom and pin Truex, or he could get like majored by Truex type of action going on. I feel like he's the type of guy that he's always in a match regardless of the score. The likelihood of him stringing together enough matches to All-American, that's a bit of a stretch, but I
Maybe
think he'll
but
be.
he lost to Isaiah Salazar in overtime at NCAA's last year, and
Yeah,
he pinned Reese Heller. So that's two and a half team points with a pin.
yeah. So I mean, I think he's gonna qualify, and it's just a matter of how many matches is he gonna win. I if he did All American, I think he'd take eighth at best, if that was even a thing.
197, Luke Gia.
Yeah, he's like an
This is
overall like
I feel like this is their weakest spot.
yeah. He's there. I mean, he's okay.
He went 0-2 at NCAAs last year. I mean, he's
He
only a
qualified.
sophomore. He's only a sophomore. Um,
Was he a true freshman?
no, redshirt freshman.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, he I don't.
I don't think there's anything that really stands out. He's just
It's
muscly.
not, yeah, it's not like he was what's his face? Colin Moore type of like up and
No,
coming. Like he's
no,
not that caliber.
no.
He seems, yeah, like he's all right. Like but he'll probably qualify for NCAAs again, but isn't gonna be like any superstar action out of him.
Right. And then 285, Nick Feldman. Now,
Nick Feldman.
where do we think Nick Feldman will
Well,
land?
if history is proof of anything, since the fact that he's improved upon every single time he's wrestled Kirkfleet, it stands to reason that the next time he goes against Kirkfleet, it's going to be overtime, loss, or a win. Like the because he's been closing the gap, closing the gap, closing
He
the
did
gap. So
take
I
him
feel
down that one time.
yeah, and he did get the takedown at Big Ten. So like I feel like this next matchup that they have, he's probably going to either bring him to overtime and lose, or he's going to beat him.
But it's tough because Wyatt majored Feldman.
But Wyatt wrestles very differently than Kirkfleet.
That's very true.
Like Wyatt goes for it and like is tries to turn and pin people like crazy. Like he tries to be a monster in his weight class. Whereas I feel like Greg is just very, I scored. Now I'm just gonna do the bare minimum.
Yes, that's fair. But if they get to NCAAs and Wyatt's on the same side as Feldman, I don't think Feldman can overtake Wyatt.
You don't think so?
Especially
They
now that
have
Wyatt's
enough.
at Okie State.
Yeah, but I don't know how big of an impact that's gonna have on Wyatt. Like I feel like it should have a good impact, but until we see him in
You're
action, we're not
talking,
really gonna.
he's getting coached by the Cradle God.
Oh yeah, imagine Wyatt gets cradles into his repertoire.
I mean, he already pins everyone. I'm sure that's only
Adding some cradles into the mix.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, feel like Feldman's gonna probably be. He took what, fourth last year?
fifth.
Fifth. I think he's going to improve on that. I just, I mean, that which I think was higher than we thought he was going to do last year, like before the season. So I
Yeah.
feel like he might have like a breakout year where he's in contention for the finals or top four, like or top three.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely going to be one of the guys to beat. I mean, they got some solid guys on the roster here. Like,
Well, so last year Ohio State scored 62 team points. They took 8th place overall. Do we see this team as a top 5 team?
how many All-Americans did they have with that?
Well,
Feldman
you
was,
had
Welsh was,
Mendez,
Mendez.
Welsh, and Feldman 3?
That was it.
I think so.
Yeah, because D'Amelio didn't,
He was one
Bouzakis
match
didn't,
away.
McCrone didn't, Rogoski didn't, Geog didn't, Hepner. Yeah. So I mean, Feldman's going to All-American. Mendez is going to be in the contention to do the same thing he did last year. And Welsh is going to All-American and maybe do as well as he. So it's a matter of if you think the other seven weights are going to do better than they did last year, which I would argue Gallagher should do better than who they
Oh
had
yeah.
last year. Yeah. Um, if Sasso wins the spot out, I'm going to imagine he's going to do better than Hepner would. Um, Rogatsky maybe will do the same or better. Geog's going to do the same or worse. Maybe Buzak. I mean,
Do you,
I think yeah, I think they're probably destined for a top 10 finish.
I think
Um,
definitely top 10, top 5,
I think they're like peripheral. It's
maybe 5th.
if things go well, they can maybe pull off fifth. I don't think they're getting a trophy though, because they still give trophies to top four. I don't think they're quite there unless they got,
No.
someone up their sleeve that is gonna have a breakout year that we're not on our radar yet.
No. I don't think so. I think this is maybe 6 or 7. I would say 7th place is my would be my guess.
Slightly better than last year.
Slightly better.
Mm,
But yeah, there you have it. It's a Ohio State Buckeyes lineup preview. Drop a comment down below. Where do you think they are going to finish at the NCAA's for the 2025 tournament? And who do you think? Sammy Sasso? Maybe?
possibly.
Well, maybe he knows something we don't. I don't know. Drop it in the comments down below, and thanks again for watching Cactus Wrestling.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.